Well, we've traveled all the way from Helena, Montana to be with Doc Dellegarino, who is one of the heroes of the platoon that we served with in the Wolfhounds, the 2nd and the 27th. And the reason that we're here today is we want to make sure that all the guys that we served with have an opportunity, whether it's big, small, or indifferent. We want them to be able to tell their Vietnam story for the benefit of all our generations and so forth to come. And Doc, just to start, what was it like for a New York boy to? Did you join or did you get drafted?
No, I was drafted.
Okay, I was too. What was it like for a New York boy to leave home and go to basic training?
Well, I was in basic training in Columbia, South Carolina, which was different. They used to roll up the sidewalks around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just a different time for me. And then AIT training was at Fort Sam Houston in Texas, which was totally different. Being I had never been really out of New Jersey or New York before that, so it was different.
You know, I would have never guessed that you were from Jersey or New York just from your accent. You sound like you're more from West Virginia or someplace.
Well, y'all come back now, huh? Yeah, right. I don't think so.
But as you went into AIT, then you went, of course, into medic training.
We were picked. In basic training, I was taking a test like we all take in basic training.
Sure.
And halfway through it, the sergeant said, "Well, smoke them if you got them."
Oh yeah.
And I went out. I said, "Hey, Sarge, what kind of test is this?" He goes, "It's for helicopter pilots." So I said, "No, I don't think so." He goes, "Yeah, you're doing good." And he checked my paperwork, so of course I tanked the rest of that test and got wind up being sent to medical training at Fort Sam Houston.
Well, that's interesting because I always wondered if guys said, "I want to be a medic," or whether you didn't have any experience in that area or whatever.
No, I just wasn't a very good shot on the rifle range. So they figured I better put something else in my hand than a gun.
Yeah. And do you remember when you got in Vietnam? That was in, what month was it again?
It was
September
of 69.
Of 69. Yeah. Do you remember the reception station?
Yes.
Remember how we sat in the bleachers and we waited for them to call our name and
where we were going to
tell us where we were going? Did you have any clue at all where you were headed?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No, we had got there like late in the day, so we had to wait till the next day to do this. So the first night they just threw us in barracks, and I remember walking out of the barracks because I heard the strange noise and looking and seeing all the helicopters shooting and everything, and the rounds coming out, the traces look like a solid round. And I'm going, oh my God, I got to go out there. Can't I just stay here? And the next day they put us in the in the bleachers like that. And they called my name and they said Wolfhound. And I said, that sounds kind of scary, And one of the guys said, you just wait.
And did you remember they said, now you go and you get where the truck number 3?
Yes.
And that number 3 is going to take you to the wall. I remember that very, very well.
Oh, yeah.
And the first feeling I had was I don't have a weapon. And they're putting all of us in the back of this truck, and I know it's several miles, right?
Yes, it is.
And as I recall, they didn't even have an M60 on top of the deuce and a half with a guy with a gun. And that was my introduction to Vietnam, and I thought, "Oh crap!
Oh, here we go.
What did I get myself into?" And then you got to Cu Chi, and then your orders said you were going to Charlie Company.
Yes.
And so, how long was it that you were in Cu Chi before you actually got assigned to?
I think it was just a couple of days because the platoon I was supposed to go with, the Charlie Company itself, was on a mission, so I had to wait till them to come back.
Yep. And they didn't put you on a helicopter and haul you out?
No, they didn't. Not at that time.
Yeah. And so when you went there, did you have all your medical bags and stuff, or did you have to get that when you got to Cu Chi?
Oh, no, I got them when I got to Cu Chi. I didn't have them.
Yeah, you didn't take anything with you?
No, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything, and they gave me all my medical equipment, and they sent me out on my way, and that started the journey.
Do you remember the first day you were in the platoon?
Not really.
Did they put you with the headquarters, with the CO or the platoon
they
sergeant?
put me right into the Charlie company.
I'm sorry, what I meant was were you with the platoon leader?
Oh, I was with the platoon.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't stay with the headquarters company at all, at no time.
Okay.
I always had my own place.
So did you go in a bunker with the guys, or did you stay with the radio guy and the platoon sergeant?
Well, I stayed with the radio guy, but it was just him and I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were in a half round. We weren't even in a bunker.
That's where I lived when I got
PSP in the half round.
I remember it.
And that was where we lived. And yeah, that was Steve Raddock. He was.
Okay, so Steve and you were hooked up.
That's right.
So if I get this correctly, Steve was the first guy that you slept with in Vietnam.
I guess you could put it that way, John.
But probably not
I'll
the
smack
last.
you later after we shut this off. But no, not the last. No. We dusted Steve off because he caught malaria.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And we dusted him off and everything. But yeah, it was an interesting time. Like I said, one of the things that got me, one of the scariest things for me, was how dark it got. Being from New York, there's always a light somewhere.
Do you remember you couldn't see your hand in front of your face?
Do you remember the stupid reason why they told us we couldn't wear ponchos at night?
Because they
glimmered in the full moon and made noise. They didn't care if we got soaking wet.
And what happened when you did get wet in Vietnam at night?
Oh, you froze your butt off.
120 in the day.
And like 40-something that night?
But the evaporation, it was just absolute. I know my teeth chattered. I've actually, Doc, the most discouraged day I ever had in Vietnam is we were out on an ambush patrol, and we were in water anyway, and it was during the monsoon season. And it started raining. No ponchos, because it'll make noise and glisten. And my teeth were chattering, and I was sitting on my pot to keep my butt out of the water. And I'll never forget, I actually broke down crying, and I said, "This is, I just can't do this." You know, I mean, if this is what being out here, being an Army guy, this is when I was new. You know, I said, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Oh, no.
You know.
We had your deal. We had to deal with, you got in the water, you got the leeches.
Oh, yeah.
You hit the top of a banana plane, you got those paratrooper ants that jump down and bitch you and stuff like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
No matter where you went. I do remember, and I'm hoping whoever sees this other than somebody, maybe if the other guys in the platoon see it, they can remind me of the guy's name. But we had one guy that swore that he could warm up to a water buffalo. And you should have seen it was like a cartoonistic chasing him and him running away. And finally the kid just snapped it with a little whip and it went right back to him. So we were hysterical.
If they smelled a GI,
they could tell right away.
Off to the races.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. And I also remember one of our sergeants throwing a hand grenade into a hole because we came up right outside. I think it might have been outside of Harris. There was a hole from a crater, and there was a water buffalo in it, and we saw all the Vietnamese people around the hole. They were looking. And so we walked up and said, "What's wrong?" They said, "Oh," so he said, "I can get it out." He got it out. We got rocketed that night.
Oh,
we did. We got rocketed. We knew we were going to get it.
Well, that was sacred.
Oh yeah,
I mean that.
We always paid for them if we killed them.
Yeah.
That's why we never. Oh, hope he's not going to look at it. That's why we never took the sniper, because he used to like to shoot the dogs. He did.
And if I remember correctly, it was $500.
Yeah.
They gave the Papa San $500, which in those days to a Vietnamese guy. A lot of money.
$20 was American greenback if you got it. Well, in Vietnam was gold if you got it.
Guys that went to Vietnam, I'm understanding, they process things differently. And do you have any regrets of your time in Vietnam? Anything that you regret, or any?
Besides being there?
Yeah, anything at all that in your mind you wish, or that you over the years you thought, man, I wish I'd have done this different, or I would, you know, I don't know if that makes sense, but
You know, I know where you're going, but I have to get over that because this is what my doctor's been talking to me about.
Mhm.
I was not a doctor. I could not do a lot of things that
Couldn't save them all.
and exactly, and you know, so you go there, you do your job, and if somebody dies, you feel it.
You know.
And for so many years coming back home, he finally beat it in my head. What else could have you done?
Mm-hmm.
And you look at it, you still feel like maybe I could have done something more. But, you know, so, yeah, when you talk about thinking about what I could have done more or something, I try not to think about that, if you know what I mean.
Now you know that medics have the highest rate of survivor guilt and internal PTSD problems just because of what you said. Are you aware of that?
I
They
am now.
Well,
I've lived it, but I'm aware of it.
they have support groups just for medics in some of the bigger cities and so forth, because nobody can relate to what you just said, because it was your job.
Can I give you a strange, for instance?
Sure.
The night that Charlie Company was hit, right outside the sugar mill, when we got hit that time by, I believe, if I'm mistaken, it was a NVA rifle platoon and RPGs.
Okay.
7th, 10th, or 11th. I know because one of them is my mom and dad's anniversary and happened on that day.
Oh yeah.
So I know. And I just got phased out what I was going to tell you about that. Oh, yeah. When we got hit, I was one of the first ones to get hit. And you know what I did? I yelled medic. And I'm serious. This I remember. And I did exactly what you're doing now. I said, oh shit, I'm a medic. And then I had to continue to do it when they started calling, doing what everybody else did. And the only thing saying to me is that my eardrum was blown out, so I couldn't hear the rest of it. They were still, everybody's going like this, and I don't hear it, you know, because they're still firing. But and the guy jumping, and I can't remember his name, jumping into a well with the radio on, jammed himself into a Colton airstrike. Not airstrike, it was
artillery.
Artillery.
Wasn't that George Leedy, and he lost his eye that night?
No, because the guy that did that wasn't injured.
Okay.
Because he's the one that put me on the helicopter. Because I'm looking up, and he jumped in, he called it, and then they started doing it, and I'm standing there, and they're dusting the people off, and I remember them going, "Okay, you're next, Doc," and I go, "Why?" And they said, "Because you're hit." I said, "No, this ain't me. This is everybody else." And they put me on the helicopter.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it till I got in. I knew the one, but I didn't know the rest of it.
How many guys were hit that night in December? Did you have a full platoon out that night?
Yeah, we did. We lost one that night. Guy, I didn't even know his name. His first day in with us, Spanish gentleman, and he died that night. Tom Zach.
Yep.
Died 7 days later at the hospital. I found out. Washington, I believe, had a traumatic brain injury. Then
Walton.
I'm sorry, Walton.
No, I know.
He had a traumatic brain injury,
and you know he made it.
Good. I know.
But you knew that everybody thought he was a goner.
Yeah. I saw that. And I said, "Oh." We were sharing the morphine syringes. I did hit one because I didn't have to. You know, that was. Talk about something. They only let me have 4 morphine syringes. You know how I used to get more than 4? I used to call a med cap.
Oh,
And then I'd get them, because they'd send anything I wanted then, and I'd just keep them then.
Yeah.
But I had to share. I couldn't hit one just with one and give them the whole thing. So and I know that's not good, but
well, you got to do the best.
You got to do what you got to do.
You can.
You know, but
so when you were hit, did you get hit in the leg, or where did?
First place I got hit, it blew out my eardrum. I got a piece that was an RPG, I believe that did that. Then I got hit in the hand. I got hit in both legs, the back. Yeah, that's it.
And you were still giving guys.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know. That's called fright and adrenaline.
Doc,
Fright and adrenaline.
Doc, that's unbelievable.
I had plenty of help though. The guys were real good. I had good guys with me, and I made sure they carried stuff too.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that
Yeah.
I made sure that all my guys carried
Plenty
some-
of bandages.
plenty of
and-
bandages.
yep.
You never, because they didn't give you shit. They limited you. It was ridiculous. I could never believe that.
Yeah,
How they
during the
limited.
Tommy Clack time, you know, before that, the day before, Matias Herrera, we were on the other side of the village, and he stepped on a 105 and blew his leg off right up here at the crotch. And after that day, and Doc Flores was the medic, and he had a bottle of albumin. And so he hooked him up to that, and I put my belt on his leg and tied, cinched that up. And from that day forward, I told Flores, I'm going to carry a med bag.
There you go.
And I did. So the rest of my tour, it just extra weight, but I said, we're never going to be out here. And you know what? The next day, Tommy Clack stepped on a 105.
That's why we like the dogs. The dogs used to come and they'd find those things. The dog would stop and point right down at that thing and look at them. And
Yeah. And you know, the medics, we lost more medics. I got there in August of '68. We went through more medics because they were wandering around. Like we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
the medic didn't have a place in the file. You know, like you've got your rifleman and your M79 and
I wouldn't stay in one spot anyway. I didn't like it. I got too nervous. Well, I just want everybody out there to know that the guys I served with were the best. And like I said, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now. And I appreciate it. And I thank you both for doing this because I think it's needed.
Yep.
I think this is needed. Thank you.
well, you're so welcome, Doc. Thanks so much for having us into your home.
Shake. Oh, shake. Oh, shake. I was just going to shake.